Hey, what's up? This is Rick from pseudosamurai.com coming at you with another tutorial, which I mumble and say a lot. Today we're going to work with the Citrus engine to build a little platformer, and we're going to use the Flash IDE to be a level editor. So this is a little example I put together. So we got this little level, we collect coins. We've got some parallax. So yeah, die on the spikes here, maybe. There we go. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start off by getting the Citrus engine. Okay, Citrus is a really flexible, strong game engine for ActionScript 3. It's probably one of the best engines out there. It's built on Starling, so it accesses the GPU. It's very fast. You have your choice of physics engines. You could do 3D, 2D. It's, like I said, very flexible. So we're going to go to the download page. I like Box 2D. We're going to get Citrus Starling Feathers Box 2D. Feathers is a UI component for ActionScript. So anyway, I'm going to download this guy, put him on my desktop. Bam, I've already done that. Okay, then we're going to jump over here to opengameart.org, and we're going to get an art pack. Okay, so I just showed you an example. Comes with quite a few tiles and little things that we could use. It's a pretty cool art pack, especially because it's free. So grab that. Okay, so I've got them both on my desktop right here. I've unzipped the art pack and grabbed all my PNG files. The first thing we want to do is we need to flip one of our enemies here. Okay, so we're going to use this slime guy. The reason we need to flip it is because the Citrus engine, when we import the graphic, he's facing to the left, but the engine assumes he's facing to the right. So if I left him like this, it would look like he was walking backwards the whole time. Okay, so we need to just flip him around. I'm going to drag him into Photoshop. Boom. Real easy. We'll go image, image rotation, and we'll flip horizontal. Okay, and then we'll just Control Shift S, and we'll save him as slime. Okay, so that's all we need Photoshop for. We'll close. We don't want to save anything. All right, and we'll shrink that down. We're going to start in Flash, and we just want a new ActionScript 3 project. Okay, and the first thing we need to decide is how big we want our level. Okay, can not the window that we're looking at it through, but how big the entire level is. Okay, so over here in my properties, I'm going to go with this is going to be a short tutorial, hopefully, so only do 3,000 by, we'll call it I don't know, 800. Like that. Okay, so now I've got some room to play with. I got my little guy. I can jump around and walk across the level, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to save this on my desktop as level 1.fla. Perfect. And then I'm actually just going to close the level and shrink Flash down. Okay, so now I've got my level 1. Now we're going to jump over here to Flash Builder. Okay. And we're going to right click and go new ActionScript project. Okay, and we want to give it a name. We'll just call it Citrus Editor. That's fine. I'm going to make a little mental note of where my default workspace location is. Mine's on my E drive. Okay, runs in the web is good. We're going to go next. And we want to set a build path here. We want to add that Citrus Swick, which is on our desktop. So this guy right here. Add him. Okay, good. Now we've got Citrus, and we'll hit finish. Okay. So first thing we want to do is get rid of our HTML wrapper right here. So if we right click and go to properties and go up to the compiler, we can uncheck generate HTML wrapper, hit apply. It says something, I don't read it, and then you hit OK. Then we want to add a level, or I'm sorry, a folder for our level. Okay, and we'll just call this folder levels. Very nice. And we want one more folder for our graphics. And we'll call this one sprites. If I could spell sprites. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we don't want to extend a sprite. What we want to extend is a Starling Citrus engine. Okay, so Starling, and then sit, and then if I control space, I'll get the code hidden and it'll just pop right up. Perfect. Okay, so now we're extending the Citrus engine. And actually what I want to do is add some metadata. So bracket. Okay. Now this is where we get to decide sort of the window, how big our window is that we get to play the game in. So I'm going to do my width, and we'll just do 1024. Height, how do you spell height? Equals 768, let's say. And frame rate, we'll do 60 frames. And finally, a background color. We'll do this in hex. And I know the color I want, so I'm going to do 33 CCFF, like that. We might change that in a minute, but that's good for now. Okay, so we've got our metadata going. All right, now what we're going to want to do is let's do this right now. So I'm going to go back to my level here. I'm going to go to where my workspace is. So mine was on the E drive in here, and we called it Citrus Editor right here. Okay, so there's my levels folder, the folder I made to hold my levels. I'm going to move my Flash file in there. So now I've got it in here, and then I'm going to open it back up in Flash. Okay, and the reason we did that is so that when we export our file, it'll go to the right spot, and the editor will be able to, or we'll be able to access it in our Flash Builder project. Okay, so we don't really need this folder anymore. We can close that. Come back here. Okay, so now if I look in here, there's my level. So what I'm going to want to do is load that level in to my project. Okay, so first thing, let's set up Starling. Set up Starling. Set that, or pass in true. That'll take care of that. And now we're going to use a loader. It's going to be a new loader. I like to use the code hidden because it'll put the includes in. Okay. So now I'm going to hit Control-1 to create an instance variable called loader. There we go. Just like that. Okay. So now we need to loader dot content loader info dot add listener. Okay, and then we're listening for when it's complete. When it's loaded, we want to call on load. Right, and then Control-1 again, and we can generate that event handler. I hit tab a couple times. I'm going to change my event to E, just because it's my coding practice. It's just how I like to code. Okay, and we'll come back to that in 1 second. Last thing we need to do is load our loader. So loader dot load, and then we need to create a new URL request right here, and pass in the file path. So we want to go to the parent, the top level here, and then look for the folder called levels, right? And then we want our level 1.swift. Okay, close that up. So hopefully that'll load in the Flash file. Now, once it's loaded, what we're going to do is we're going to make a state. It's going to be a new level 1. This is a class we need to make in a second, and to it we're going to pass the content of our loader. Okay, so we do loader dot content like that. Okay. Next, we'll just do a little garbage collection. So we'll clean up our loader by removing, spell correctly, remove event listener, and then we just want to copy this. There we go. So we'll get rid of that, and then we're going to go unload and stop pass in true. There we go. So that'll kind of clean up our loader, so we don't have any extra stuff going on. Okay, very nice. So next what we need to do is create this this class right here, this level 1 class. So in our default package, we'll go new action script class. Okay. Now this is going to, we'll call this level 1, and we're going to extend Starling state. Starling state right there. Okay, just like that, and click finish. Very nice. So remember over here we're accepting the content of our loader, which is the level, which is a movie clip. That's a type movie clip. So right here we're gonna just call it we'll just call it level like that, and make it a movie clip. And we don't want Starling, we want the Flash. Okay. Now we do want to call the super, and what we're going to do is we're going to pass in this movie clip into a instance variable. So we need to make one of those. We'll just call it level, and we'll say equals level like that. Control 1, and we can create the instance variable right there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make an array of all the objects we're going to use in the Citrus engine. And we do this so that we don't forget to import anything, and we have an array of all the possible objects that we're using. It could come in handy. So we're probably going to use a hero. So hero, Citrus, and we want box 2D. Boom. Then we probably want a platform. Right. A sensor. Box 2D. Crate. How about an enemy? Coin. And we'll do a moving platform as well. Just like that. Close that off. Good. Okay. Very nice. So now what we need to do is on the Starling state there is a method that initializes it. We're going to override that method. So override public function initialize right here. Okay. So first thing, we just want to call the super initialize. Okay, and then what we want to do is set up our physics engine. So we're going to create a box 2D. So we can call it whatever, b2d. That's good. Type box 2D, like so. And we want to make it a new box 2D. Okay, and then you're just going to pass in a string. It doesn't really matter, so we'll just call it box 2D, like so. just like that. Good. I'm going to turn on, I'm going to make it visible for now so that we can see our objects. We'll probably turn this off pretty quick, but visible equals true. And then we just add it to our scene here. So B2D, like that. Okay, good. So now we have a box 2D world. Now this one line of code is super duper important. What it's going to do is turn, so it's object maker, 2D dot, so let's import that, and then maybe import that. Yeah, there we go. Object maker 2D dot from movie clip. So we're looking for from movie clip, and what this will do is turn our level 1 right here into a 2D level, okay, using the Citrus engine. Oh, not level 1, just level, right, like that. Okay. So that'll turn our movie clip into our level. All right. So this is a good spot to start working on our level. Okay. Make sure save this. Uh-oh, it's giving me a problem here. All right, let's do this. Let's go E dot target dot loader dot content. Yeah, there we go. That'll fix that. Okay, good. So we're real quick. We have our metadata, right? We create a loader, we set up Starling, we load in our level, and then we create a state that turns that level into a Citrus engine level, and then we clean up our loader. Okay, and then over here, we're bringing in our level, assigning it to an instance variable. Then we basically initialize all the objects we're going to use in our engine. Then we create a box 2D world here, and then we turn our level into a Citrus level. Okay, good. So over here, let's go into our level. What we're going to do first thing is just create a new symbol. So new symbol, and we'll just call it ground. Okay, just like that. And we're going to drag in a ground. So we've got a couple to choose from. I like this one. This one's fine. Boom, drop it in here. Now, in Box 2D, the registration point is centered. So I want to center my object here. So center, center. Okay, and that'll just keep things from shifting around once we import the level. Okay, good. Now what we need to do is go over to our actions panel. Okay, and we're going to basically tell our Citrus engine that this is a Box 2D platform, this object here. Okay, so we want of our class name equal to, and then we just want the full path of what it is. So we want it to be a platform. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. Boom. Okay, and then we're going to do one more thing here. Say var params, and in here we can input all sorts of information about our Box 2D object, but really all we want right now is what it looks like. So we're going to do the view parameter, and we're just going to pass in a string that points to where the image is. So if I were to run this, even though the image is in Flash, it won't transfer over to our level. Okay, there won't be any image. It'll just be a shape. Okay, so by setting the view property, right, that's why we have the sprites folder. If I copy this guy, so right here, copy and paste him in here. So now we've got the ground. Okay. So like before when we were trying to find our level, we want to go to the parent, right? And then go into sprites. And then it's just called ground.png, like so. Okay, let me save that. And then all we need to do is run it. So Control Enter. Of course, we don't have a level yet. So let's go back and build a little level. So with our ground, we can drag it out here. Now before, actually before I start building that level, it'll help to have a grid. So if I go to Edit Grid here, I can show the grid, snap to the grid. I could do every 10 pixels, but my object here, if you look over here, is 70 by 70, my little level. So I want to do kind of a, what's the word? A variable, not variable, or whatever of 70, right? So maybe 35 by 35. That way I can get this guy to kind of snap into place here, wherever I want him to go. Okay, so maybe we'll start kind of mid right here. Okay. Oh, the other thing is maybe I'll change the background color, just so that my editor looks like how my level's going to look. Okay, so what I can do is just hold Alt and drag, and I'll make a duplicate, and then so we'll go a little bit higher right here. All right, so I have this little platform. Next thing I'll do is under my character, I'm just going to use this front graphic. I'm going to drag him out. Okay. And the reason I do this, I'm going to turn him into a movie clip real quick. So F8, and we'll just call him Hero. And we also want to center our hero. So boom, boom. Go back to the scene. Okay, so the reason I did that is to get his registration point in the middle. So if I want him to start right here, let's say, I can get his info from over here, right? So we'll just do 297. It's perfect. All right, so I want him a little off the ground. Okay. If I were to put him like in the ground, in the level, when it instantiates, he'll be stuck. I won't be able to jump. Okay, I might be able to move, but I won't. He'll be kind of stuck in the ground. So it's always a good idea to start him a little off the ground, right? So I'm going to make a note of his X and Y position. So what do we got? We got, if we look over here, we've got 140 by 293, right? So 140, 293. And then take a look at his width and his height. Let's get his dimensions. He's 66 by 92. Okay, so that's useful. So I know where to put him. Now we could do the same thing we did with the ground and you know, add him to the scene just using the editor. But it works a little better to do it in the code. So anyway, the other reason we want to have this guy in the scene is we could be, let's say we didn't have him, we'll hide him over here. He's peeking out like that. Let's say I just start building without really paying attention to the size of my guy, and I start making a, you know, a level, and I have a treasure in here or something. Well, that's too short. He won't be able to fit. Now, if I didn't have him, I wouldn't know his size exactly, right? So I'd think, oh, I think he could fit there, but he can't. Would be stuck, okay? So having a reference to your hero can help you kind of visualize your level a little better, okay? So anyway, that's why we have him in here. Now that we've got the starting info, and we'll just set him off to the side. He can hang out, okay? We'll save this, and we will run it again, and then close that. Okay, so back over here in our level 1. what we're going to do is create our hero. Okay, so right here, we just, we'll call him hero equals new hero, like that. The first thing we need to pass in is just his name, so we'll just call him hero. And then we're going to pass in an object with all the parameters we want. So open bracket there. So we have his X position, right? It was 140. We have the Y position, and that was 293, right? Then we have his width. Sorry. His width is 66, and his height would be 92. Okay, we'll pass in one more thing. We're going to pass in his view, right? And this one, again, we just want to go up to the parent. It's in sprites, and I believe it's called front.png, just like that. Close the bracket, close that. Good. And then we need to create an instance variable of our hero. Very nice. And then finally, we'll add our hero, just like that. Now, one thing I forget all the time, and it'll throw an error, is I gotta put this graphic in here. So again, you just copy them and paste them. There we go. Okay, now theoretically we should have a working level. So let's test it out. I'm gonna go and debug as, got to start on this one. Debug as a web application here. And here we go. We've got our guy. I can move him around, and he's standing. Oh, I fell. Dang it. Okay. But we had our guy who was standing on our platform. But one of the things that's going to happen a lot is you're going to fall while testing your level, while building your level. Okay, so it's a good idea for our next thing we're going to do is I'm going to copy. So I'm going to do a little cleanup of my library first. So make a folder and call it _images, or just like that. I'm going to put all my PNGs in here, right? And I do the underscore so it stays on top. So now I've got just what I need showing. I'm going to duplicate the ground, and we'll just call this sensor or sense row. Let's try that again. Sensor. Okay, and I'm going to go into it, and I don't want this. I'm just going to use just a shape, just like that. Okay, maybe make him a different color. Green is good. Make sure he's centered. Yep. I'm going to get rid of the params in my actions, and I'm going to change it from a platform to, you guessed it, a sense row. Sensor. There we go. Okay, so back to our scene. I can use this sensor. We'll zoom out a little bit. Right here. Boom, I drag them out. Let's make them bigger. So, whoops. Yep, just like so. And the reason I make it so big is it's possible to jump and like fall way off here. Okay, so I just want to cover the whole level underneath. So if the hero falls, he'll definitely hit this sensor. Probably doesn't need to be that big, but you get the idea. Last thing is we're just going to give it an instance name of fall. We'll just call it fall. Okay. We will save and hit enter. Boom. Good. Now back into Flash Builder here. Back to our level. Under initialize, let's get rid of our debug info here. So I want to get a reference to that sensor. Okay, so what I can do is we'll say fall is equal to, and then we'll say get object by name. Okay, so citrus, first one there, and we called it fall, so fall, just like that. And then we want to cast it as a sensor, right? Just like that. And then we'll create an instance variable. Good. So now we have a reference to that. So now what we're going to do is say fall dot on. Doesn't like that. Begin contact, right? Oh, you know why it doesn't like it is sometimes it'll miscast it. It's cast as a citrus object. We want it as a sensor, like so. Get rid of that citrus object. There we go. Now our on begin contact makes sense. I just did something weird there. Okay, so on begin contact, we're going to call a function called on fall. Right, and if we hit control 1, we can create, oh, it's not going to let us do it. Won't generate the method. Blah. All right, we'll make our own method. So we'll go private function, and we'll just call it on fall. Now, what gets passed to this method is basically an object, the object that's hitting our sensor. Okay, so I just like to call it C for contact, and then what it is a B2D poly. Man, where are my helpers? B2D poly contact. Okay, this isn't going to return anything. It's a void. And right there. Now, why doesn't it like this? Oh, there we go. We just, no, I don't want to create an interface. Oh, it's not poly, it's polygon. I'm sorry. Still not coming up for me. Okay, so I'm an idiot. It's just B2 poly. Now we should get it up. Yeah, polygon contact. There we go. So now when he falls, we're just gonna trace out hero fell. Okay. So when our hero falls, it's gonna let us know. So let's test this out. We'll debug right here, and it gave us a problem. Of course it did. Value not a function. What have I done? Oh, gosh, another mistake. Dot add on fall. There we go. Let's try that again. So boom. There we go. Gotta pay attention. All right, so here's my guy. If I fall, oh, it says right here, my hero fell. Excellent, good. Okay, so now we can tell when things are happening. We'll close that. Come back over here. Okay, so next thing we're going to add to our level is a crate. So again, I'm just going to copy the ground, duplicate it, and call this crate, and then go into it. Okay, we want to get rid of that and drag in our crate. Boom, right here. Again, we're going to center it, and over in the actions, we need to change that to crate, and change that to crate. Good, save that. Okay, back to our scene. So if I bring my crate out here, I can set it right there. We'll do a little library cleanup. Okay, so I've got my crate. Excellent. Now I will Control Enter, run it again, come over here and debug again. Now, I mentioned it earlier and I already forgot. I didn't add the crate to my sprites folder, and that's why I'm getting this error. So, gotta remember, add your images. So copy over to sprites. In fact, I'm going to copy more of the ones I'm going to use here. So let's see. I might want to use a coin. We'll use both coins. A brush, a cloud, grass. What else should we use? A plank. We'll copy that stuff, paste it in here. So we used that stuff, and we might as well use our slime enemy as well. Paste them in there. Okay. So hopefully I won't run into that problem again. Anyway, back, test it again. Okay, good. Here's my guy. Here's my crate. Now I want you to watch the console down here. If I bump my crate, it falls. It still thinks the hero fell, right? Boom. So crate fell and then my hero fell, but it registered both. Okay, and the reason is it's only sensing. Let me create a little more room here. It's sensing anything that touches the sensor. So we need to test to see what is hitting the sensor. Okay, so we're going to say if box 2D utils, right? It's a class dot collision get other, right? We want collision get other, and we're gonna pass in two objects to test against. Okay, so we're testing the sensor, so that's called fall, against the object that's been passed right here. That would be C, right? So whatever's falling and hit the sensor. We're gonna see if it is a hero, if it's of type hero. Okay. Now we'll trace it right here and run this again. Okay, so if I bump it, nothing. The crate doesn't set it off, but Geronimo, he falls. Everything's good. We got the hero fell. Okay, good. So if you fall, it's pretty useful to put your hero back to where he started. Okay, so it's a little trickier than it seems, though. I can't just say hero dot x equals 140, and then hero dot y equals 293, right? If I do this, nothing will happen. It won't work because you can't update the position outside of the update class. Okay, so what we need to do, the Starling state has an update class, so we need to override it. Okay, so I'm going to come under my initialize, and I'm going to go override public function update. Okay, and if you use the autocomplete, it'll add in this time delta number thing. We're not going to mess around with that, so we're just going to leave that alone. Okay, first thing we want to do is call the super. All right, dot update, and then we just want to pass in the time delta, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're gonna set a flag, okay, and we'll call this flag reset. So we'll say if reset, then we're going to call a function to reset the hero's position. We'll call it, we'll just say reset position, no, reset hero. That sounds good. Okay, and then we'll pass into that function where we want them to reset to. So we'll pass the x and the y. So 140 by 293. Sounds good. Okay, good. Now what we need to do is create an instance variable out of reset. It's a Boolean. And let's see if we can create a method called reset hero. Very nice. Okay, so we'll just call this x, and we'll call you y. Okay, and now I can move this code right here. Take that and throw it in here. Boom, just like that. Okay, we should probably make sure that this starts off as fall, or I'm sorry, not that one. Our reset. Make sure that starts off as false. Okay. So, what happens is when the sensor gets triggered and it is the hero, we're going to say reset equals true, just like this. Okay, and this update is kind of like a every tick, right? It's a loop, right? So, you know, most of the time this is going to be false, so it's not going to run this. But then when we set this to true, it'll go, okay, good. Reset the hero, comes down here, boom, does this. Now, after we reset the hero, we need to make sure we reset equals false, like that. Okay? So, if we save and run this, okay, good. Our hero guy, if we bump the crate, nothing happens. I didn't reset position or anything. If I fall, oh, right back to where I was. Okay, just like that. Boom, perfect. So, good. We're ready to work on our level a little bit. Okay, last thing I'm going to do before we do some more level work is I'm going to turn off the box 2D. So when we run it, it'll just be the graphics. Okay. So back over to Flash. Let's make some more objects. Okay, so we can duplicate our crate here. We'll just duplicate you. Let's make a coin. Coin G. That's going to be a gold coin. And let's go in here. Delete that and drag in our coin gold. Good. And align him. Now, make note of the name, coin underscore gold, right? So right here, we'll just change this to coin underscore gold and change this guy to coin. Save that, okay? Move that to images. Let's make a silver coin. So duplicate, and we'll just call you coin S, right? Just like that. Now, if I look up here, I'm still in coin G. It's real easy after you make a symbol to forget to change, so make sure you switch over to coin S. They look exactly the same, so it's hard to tell. All I need to do here is change this to silver, right? And let's drag in my silver coin. Get rid of that one and center my coin. Just like that. So now we got some coins. What else do we want? Drag him back in. Let's see. We want I guess we could do a brush. We did that, right? Over in Flash Builder, we have a brush right here. So this is a little different. We're not going to make it a box 2D object if we do a brush. So this one we can actually just make a new symbol. Well, cancel that. We'll just copy again. It's easiest to do this. So duplicate. It reduces the amount of spelling mistakes that I make if I duplicate it. So we'll just call it brush, right? Click on over to it. Get that guy. So we'll drag in our brush. Now this one we don't want centered, okay? Because it's not going to be a box 2D. It's going to be a citrus sprite. Okay, so all we want is right here. Whoops. So citrus.objects dot citrus sprite, just like that. And then we want to call it brush.png. Save it. Okay, so this guy would be just sort of decorative. Okay. So let's do a couple more decorations. Let's duplicate him. We'll do grass. So we'll go down here and get rid of that and bring in grass. Okay, so the registration again, top left when it's a citrus sprite. Call it grass. Save it. Oh, I like to check. Yep, my grass is right here, so we're good. Move that back into my images. What else do we want? Look in here. We should do a fence as well. So duplicate our grass, call it fence. Make sure we're on the fence one. Get rid of you. Drag in my fence. Okay, change you to fence. Cool. And then make sure my fence is in here. Nope, it's not. See? That's why I check. Copy and paste. Good. All right, so we've got some decoration items. Moving back up to images. All right, so we can start building a little bit of a level here. So, you know, maybe I want like a platform down here. Yep, something like that, and maybe so we'll make a wall. Our hero can't jump over, so he's going to need the crate to jump on it. Okay, and then you know, obviously you can do whatever you like here. Maybe I'll erase that one. Okay, so something like this. Here it comes down. Let's add some decoration. So for the decoration, what works pretty well is I'll grab my fence and my brush and all this stuff. So we'll just move them out. Actually, before I do that, I like to put it on a layer behind. So this layer has our box2D objects. We'll call this scene, and we'll call this one deco, right? So we're going to put our decorations on the deco layer over here. So we just kind of separate those out. Okay, so I can just alt and drag it, you know, little grass here and there, maybe a bush. The reason I like to do it on the background layer is you know, so I don't have to deal with the box being behind it or anything like that. Now, sometimes if you overlap these objects, right, so let's say I put that there, notice it's in front of the bush. If I wanted the bush in front, you can just right click and go arrange, bring to front. Of course, I like it the way it is, so a little bit more here. Just boom. So these items will appear, but our hero won't really interact with them at all. Okay, so, you know, it just kind of spruces up my level. Just like that. Okay, good. So we can save it and run it. Boom. Now if I come over here and what did I leave out? My brush? Oh, not brush, bush. I'm an idiot. Gosh. Alright, so over here, change the name to bush. Bush. Go in here and change my actions. Not brush, but bush. There we go. Now run it. Good. Back in here. Try this again. Hey, all right, good. So we've got our guy. You know, and if I jump down here, I can't quite make it up. Okay. So I'm gonna fall real quick. Knock down my box, my crate here. I can use it. Oh wait, I can't see myself anymore. Okay, and the reason is we don't have a camera in our scene yet. Okay. So we'll come back over to level 1 here in our initialize function. And what we're going to do is make a camera. Okay. So we'll just call it camera equals, and we'll say view dot camera as Starling camera, just like so. Okay, and then control 1, create an instance variable right up there, and it decided to turn it into a citrus camera. We're going to keep it as a Starling camera. Okay, now we have camera. We want to set it up. So set up camera. Now we want to follow the hero, right? And then what we need is a point that kind of defines the bounds. So we're going to say new point, and what we want is the size of our window, or the size of the stage, I mean. So stage dot stage width first, okay, and we want to cut that in half, so we're going to center it. So just use the bit shift right here, and now our Y is going to be stage dot stage height. Good, and we'll cut that in half as well. Okay. Next, what we need is a rectangle. This is the bounds. That is the that helps Citrus figure out how to move the window based on the center of the stage. Okay, so we want a rectangle for our bounds. New rectangle, right? And this is the size of our stage. So we'll go 0, 0, and then how big is our flash stage? 3000 by 800. So 3000 by 800, just like that. And then finally, this is the easing point. Okay, so we can say new point, and you could play around with these values. This is just how the camera eases around the hero. So I'll go with like let's go 0.2 and 0.2. Let's try that. Okay. Oh, whoops! I forgot to close off my thing there. All right, now camera dot parallax mode. Okay, and we're going to use the Citrus camera dot parallax top left, just like that. Okay, so now we have a camera. Let's see if it works. Boom, so I have my guy. Yep, look at that. So the level moves with my guy. Okay, great. Very nice. All right, so let's go back over to our level and let's add in some coins. Okay, let's add some silver coins here. So actually, you know what? We'll you'll see a lot of times in games that the coins will kind of guide you where you need to go. So we'll do that. Okay. So here's some coins. You know, if I had different value coins, I could, you know, have my gold here. Well, I'm putting all my coins on the wrong layer, of course. So let's grab you guys, put them in our scene here. Okay, so we've got some coins. Let's, what else do we want to do? Let's do a moving platform. Okay, so let's create a kind of a split in the road here for our hero, right? Something like that. Okay, and then what we want is, we'll move this guy way up here. Well, maybe not that high. Like that. Is we'll have a moving platform that'll take him up here. Okay, so let's create one. We'll duplicate one of our objects. I'll duplicate ground, and I'll call it moving platform, like so. Come in here. We brought in this plank image in our Flash builder, so we're going to use that one. Plank right here. Okay, remember for Box 2D object, it needs to be centered. Okay, and we'll just add moving platform, and this is a plank. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, because this has some movement in it, it has a few more variables we want to play with. Okay, and we could do them in our code, but we could do them here in the Flash too. I'm going to turn it into a component. So if I right click and go to component definition, I'll be able to add some pieces. Okay, and really for the moving platform we just need 4 values. Okay, we need a start x. Okay, so that would be the name and the value, start x, and we're going to turn it into a number. Okay, then we want to start y. Again, it's a number. This one's a number, and number. Then we have end x, right? End x, and then end y. End y. There we go. Very nice. Okay, and then we'll hit OK. It'll change its icon, and if you look over here, or rather, we'll drag it out. Now, if we look over here under component parameters, we've got start x, start, end, all that. Okay, so let's say I want it to start right here. Well, we'll go all the way right there. Okay, so I'm going to make a note of where this is at. So I've got my x and y values right here. So our start x is 1366, and our start y is 500.5. Good. Now we'll just move this guy right up here to where we want him to end up. And what have we got? We've got 1611 and 150.5. Very nice. Okay, good. So I'll put him back in his starting position. Hopefully. Yep, that looks right. Okay. So let's reward our person for going up high. Like that. Okay, good. And we'll put some coins down here to entice him to go the wrong way. Whoops. Just like that. Move them up. And let's do some decoration. I'll lock you up and have a bush. You know, little things here and there. Always adds something to your level. Right? Okay, good. So we've got kind of this decision to make. Okay. Now what we're going to do is put a little danger into our level. Okay, so let's get our enemy going. So one of the advantages of defining, so I could define the start X and start Y, all that stuff in the params right here. But that would mean that every time I drag this out, it would have the same value. Okay, it's kind of like hard coding the value. By turning it into a component and coding the values over here, it makes it so it's more usable, reusable. Okay, so anytime you have an object that you might want to change the values on, say it moves or things like that, then you'd want to do the component properties. Okay, component definitions. So let's make an enemy. Okay, so I'll just duplicate my ground again, and we'll call him slime. And we'll go in, we'll get rid of that, and drop in our slime. Again, center him. Okay, and we want to change him to enemy and slime. Save that. And then we can check over here, make sure we have our slime. It's in here. Good. Okay, so one of the things we will define in here, okay, is enemy class. Okay, so enemy class, and what we want is the hero to be the enemy of our enemy, right? Hero, just like that. And we need to add a comma there. Okay, so that's never going to change, so I'll put it in there, save it. But, you know, our slime, we'll put them, make sure on the right one here. Yeah. So we'll put them right over here. Good. And actually, before I do that, let's do our component definition here. So he has a left bound and a right bound and a speed. Okay, so those things are probably most important, and they're all going to be numbers. So number, number, number. Okay, and then we just go left bound, right? Left bound. Then we have right bound. And speed. Okay, so we'll hit OK. Now he's got his component definition, right? So I'll put him here and figure out his left bound here. So he's only going to move on the x-axis, so we only need the x, and we'll call it 371. 371.5, just like that. And then right over here, 818.5, right? So 818.5, and we'll make them move at like 1.5. Okay, and then we'll just, you know, kind of put them in the middle, so I can go whichever way he wants. Okay, now let's copy him, put another one over here. Now this one is going to have different values, right? So this one is 1.5, and right there 1308.5, like so, and we'll make him move a little bit slower, like 1.3. Right, just like that. And we'll do one more right here. So this guy 1456.5 and 1693.5. Okay. And we'll make this one move really fast, like 1.8, something like that. Okay, great. So now we've got some enemies. We can do, this tutorial is getting kind of long, so I want to wrap it up here pretty soon. Let's make a hazard, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll duplicate this grass, and we'll call it a spike. Okay, good. Go in here, and let's find our spikes right here. There we go. Boop. So we can get rid of the grass, keep the spike, or spikes, I mean. So let's just call it spikes. Okay, just like that. Remember to add it. So copy it and add it in here. So we have spikes. So if I put my spikes out here, boom. Oh wait, I don't want that. Sorry, on my deco layer here. So we'll just paste it in. So now we've got some spikes, and we'll make a few of them. Just like that. Okay, so we've got the dangerous spikes going on. And what we want to do is, let me clean up some of my images here, is add a sensor. Okay, so we're going to use a sensor and shrink it down. So kind of a small little guy like that. Even shrink it down and more. Okay, good. So we've got that. We're going to name it spikes, just like that. Okay, and all right. So let's save this for now. Come over here. So just like before, we got our fall. We're going to do the same thing. We'll say spikes equals object by name and call it spikes as a sensor. Create the instance variable, but it did citrus objects, so we're going to change that to sensor. Okay, and then spikes dot on begin contact dot add, and then we'll say on die. Okay. We'll generate our method here, and I'm weird about the order of my methods, so I'm going to put it down here. Okay, and again, roughly the same thing we did before, right? But we're just going to have a hero died horrible spiky death. Okay, and we just want to use the same stuff. Okay, so fundamentally it's not all that different than on fall. In fact, I could have just called on fall, but maybe I wanted something else to happen when he fell on spikes versus if he fell off the map. You know, maybe I want him to reset to a different place or whatever, if that makes sense. Oh, I just noticed on my reset hero I did this all wrong. So my hero X needs to be X, and my hero Y needs to be Y. There we go. All right, finding mistakes everywhere. Good, I don't need my citrus object. Okay, so if he falls on those spikes, he'll die. Or really, he'll just reset, but you get the idea. So, anything else we need to add or do? We got some enemies, we got moving platforms. Oh, one more thing. Okay, let's take a look at this, and then we'll finish up with some clouds. So, uh-oh. We have a problem. So, what's going on? Hold on. Okay, so all I needed to do, that error, is I just need to run the Swift so that the map is there. Okay, so now I should be able to run it. Okay, there we go. Good. So here's my guy. Notice my enemy's down there. He's going to push my box away, and then I'm trapped. No! So if he hits me, boom, I'm going to get hurt. Oh, but I stepped on him. Right, so there's no way I'm going to be able to make it up there. So I'll fall. Okay, I might be able to make this jump. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, I'm getting bad around. Oh, and I died on the spikes. Okay, so let's catch the moving oh, no. So, you know, playing the level is really important because you might have to tweak things like distances, sizes. One of the things that bothers me is sort of the default movement settings of your hero. He's just a little too sensitive, a little, I don't know, he just doesn't move quite the way I want him to. But, whoa. Anyway, gotta get on this moving platform. Ah, I'll die again. I'm gonna make this platform. Gonna do it. So, oh god, I suck. Anyway, so maybe that platform's a little too hard to hit. Now I'm just wasting time, but I'm determined to get on that platform. Son of a... Oh. See, it just... The movement bothers me. Anyway. That's something you can tweak later. Okay, finally, what we're going to do... Oh, here we go. Hero died. Horrible spiky death. I like it. Is we're going to add some clouds. Sorry, I get distracted. This long into a tutorial, it's trouble. Okay, let's add some clouds. So we're just going to use a citrus sprite. I'm going to duplicate it. And we'll call it Cloud 1. Okay, and we'll go in here. Get rid of this guy. And let's bring in our Cloud 1. Remember, it's a sprite, so registration top left. Okay, and it's called Cloud_1. Okay, perfect. Now, what we're going to add is, actually, comma, is parallax X. Okay, and we'll go something. So 1 is normal, so that's what everything kind of defaults to. Okay, if I go smaller than 1, like you know, 0, let's say, that's like static. It won't move at all. So it's really far away. For the clouds, I want somewhere in between. So let's say I go with a 0.5. Okay. So 0.5, comma, and then we need a parallax y. And we'll make that the same 0.5. Okay, save that. Now, these clouds are going to kind of stand out. So I think I'm going to change my stage color a little bit. I'm going to match it to right there. So what color is that? It's, we'll copy there. Okay. And I'll go back in here and I'll change it to that. And it'll look nice in a second, I promise. So back to here, I've got my cloud with its parallax. Okay, and we're going to duplicate our cloud. Call this cloud 2. And we'll just grab a different cloud. We'll grab our second cloud. It's all good. And we'll make this one a little bit further away. So 0.8, let's say. Or no, you know what? We'll make it yeah, further away, 0.3. 0.3, like that. Okay, good. So save it. Now let's add our clouds to our scene here. So cloud 1, we'll just drop him in, and cloud 2, we'll drop him in right here. Maybe another cloud 2. Whoops. Don't want to overdo the clouds, you know, just a couple here and there. One thing, make sure I don't want these clouds above everything, so I want them behind everything. So I'm going to make one more layer, call it background, and we'll paste in those clouds. Okay, good. So now we've got some clouds. Kind of stagger them around a little. Okay, good. Save it and Control Enter to run it. So see the background, the clouds kind of fade into the background. It looks real nice. Good. Over here, and let's run it. Okay, so keep your eye on the clouds. Fight this guy from the box. Ah, he's jacking me up. Okay, now he's dead. Notice that the clouds don't move with the same way that the level moves. So it gives them the kind of look of being in the distance, which is kind of what I wanted. Okay, I'm going to nail this platform. Ready and go. Nope. Nope. Oh, God. Die, you stupid slime. I'm on it. I got it. Haha. And finally got the golden coins. Yes. Notice that we have this cloud and this cloud. They move different compared to each other as well. Right? So, okay, good. The last thing I'll mention, okay, is because each one of these platforms is its own block. Sometimes, if you watch my guy, he'll kind of hop. Oh, now he's not going to do it, but oh, there it was. So sometimes he'll just get caught on one of the blocks and sort of hop a little bit. Okay, so one way that we could fix that, okay, is when you're building a level, instead of making our ground these individual blocks, right? Okay, what we can do is, let's go into our ground real quick. All right, and change it from a platformer, or from a platform into a citrus object, right? Good, just like that. Now, if I were to run the scene, our hero, and just about everything, the crate, everything would just fall through. Okay, so that's a problem. So now what we need to do is we'll copy our sensor here, duplicate it, and we'll call it a platform. like that. And we'll do a different color. We'll do like, I don't know, yellow. Yellow's fine. Okay, and we want this to be a platform, like that. Save. Okay, so if I go back into my scene, I can take my platform, put my timeline here, and I'll just do it above for now. Right here. So I can just sort of stretch it. Right. Oops. Just get another one going. Right. Maybe I want my hero lower. You could offset the hero, but let's say I want him to be a little bit lower than the ground. I can also do that. Right. So boom, and something like that. That's okay. Get rid of that one. So I just kind of lay in my my guy here. Lay in my platforms, I mean. So, all right, there we go. So now I've got my platforms in there. Let's save it and run it again. And now try it. Oh, and we had a problem. Okay, so the problem is I'm stupid, and it's been a problem my whole life. No, so on my ground, I defined it as a citrus object. That's not what I wanted. I wanted a citrus sprite, right? So sprite. There we go. Now I'll run it back here, and cross your fingers. There we go. So, oh, so the other issue, right, is I have this centered when it needs to be like that. So this is going to break the whole everything, basically. But let's see if I can fix it quickly here. So whoops. All right, so we'll move all this stuff right back and save it, run it, cross your fingers. Look at that. So now my guy is standing more on the ground, if you can see that. So is the little Goomba slime there. Oh, there goes my box. Little punk. Anyway, so now I won't hop. What was that? Now I won't hop on the ground. I won't catch any lips, right? So might be a better way. It's kind of up to you. Anyway, hopefully this gives you an idea of how to turn your Flash IDE. Did you see me nail that moving platform? That was amazing. How to turn your Flash IDE into to a level editor for Citrus. So good luck.